You're listening to the Celtic Traditions Podcast with Michael Corbett, bringing you the best music from Ireland and beyond, from Savannah, Georgia.
I got pregnant by the fall, got all the way to Georgia. I got paid for all my sins, gave away all the way, had me branded on my skin, went all the way to Georgia. My name was Annabelle, I say my name was Annabelle, but now I'm resting in the ground, in a grave in Georgia. I've been drinking far too much, gave away all the way, bankers got me in his clutch, all the way to Georgia. Whiskey's not my only vice, gave away all the way, lost my farm on cod and dice, got all the way to Georgia. My name was Annabelle, I say my name was Annabelle, but now I'm resting in the ground, in a grave in Georgia. But now I'm resting in the ground, in a grave in Georgia.
Thank you for joining us today on Celtic Traditions. I'm Michael Corbett, and that was Ye Banished Privateers with their song Annabelle from an album, First Night Back in Port. E-Banished Privateers is a pirate group from Sweden. They write their own music. There's a beautiful video for that song. You should definitely check them out online. They are fabulous. Up next, we have Makem and Clancy. This is a song from their last album, which was called We've Come a Long Way, and this is their version of The Highwayman.
I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. Bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I am still alive.
I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide, sailed a schooner round the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft to furl the mainsail in a blow, and when the yards broke off they say that I got killed, but I am living still.
I was a dam builder, crossed the river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. Place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound, but I am still around. I'll always be around and around and around.
I fly a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again, or I may simply be a single drop of rain, but I will remain. I'll be back again and again and again and
Come all you lads so fiery now, that would hear of a fair young maiden, and she rode out of a summer's day, for to view the soldiers parading. They marched so bold and they looked so gay, the colours flying and the bands did play, and it caused young Mary for to say, I'll wed you, my gallant soldier. She viewed the soldiers on parade, and as they stood at their leisure, and Mary to herself did say, at last I found my treasure. But oh, how cruel my parents must be, to banish my darling so far from thee. Well, I'll leave them all and I'll go with thee, my bold undaunted soldier. Oh, Mary dear, your parents love, I pray don't be unruly, for when you're in a foreign land, believe me you'll rue it surely. Perhaps in battle I might fall, from a shot from an angry cannonball, and you so far from your daddy's hall, be advised by a gallant soldier. Guineas in bright gold, likewise a heart that's bolder, and I'll leave them all and I'll go with you, me bold undaunted soldier. So don't say no, but let me go, and I will face the daring foe, and we'll march together to and fro, and I'll wed you, my gallant soldier. He saw her loyalty, and Mary so true-hearted, he said, me darling, married we'll be, and nothing but death will part us. And when we're in a foreign land, I'll guard you, darling, with my right hand, in hopes that God might stand a friend to Mary and her gallant soldier.
Thanks once again for joining us today. Stay tuned for the entire episode, because at the end of the episode we are going to have an interview with George Ghiorse of the O'Reillys, who's going to tell us some stories about their 30-plus years together as a band, and we'll hear some of their best music. But in the meantime, that was Paul Brady and Andy Irvine with a song called Mary and the Soldier. That's a fabulous song. That's from an album simply called Andy Irvine and Paul Brady. And before that, we heard One Street Over with Ships Are Sailing. Up next, we have the Makem brothers with Mickey and Liam Spain. This is a great song called Ha'penny Bridge from an album Like Others Did Before Us. So here's the Makem brothers with Mickey and Liam Spain.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Greetings, everybody. I'm Mickey.
And I'm Liam.
And not you guys, we are the Spain brothers. You guys are listening to our good friend Michael Corbett and his brand new Irish music podcast, Celtic Traditions. If you like what you're listening to, well, keep listening, because there's going to be plenty more. If you don't like what you're listening to, well, keep listening, because there'll be something else coming on after. Congratulations to Mike, and enjoy, everybody.
We'll see ya.
Come walk with me on the Halfpenny Bridge and sit upon the stair. If old Ma Dublin has a heart, I know she keeps it there. The feeling there can't be explained, though I've tried many times. Through smut and smoke and city noise, the warm sun always shines. On the Halfpenny Bridge, you can stand in the sun, watching lovers stroll by, hand in hand. Buy a flower for your love from that old woman's stall, with a smiling for free. Only you and your love understand.
An old man sits on the Halfpenny Bridge, his music box he plays. The people passing stop a while, they listen but don't pay. But he'll stay there on the Halfpenny Bridge with a soft smile on his face, and watch the notes drift on the water to some distant place. On the Halfpenny Bridge, you can stand in the sun, watching lovers stroll by, hand in hand. Buy a flower for your love from that old woman's stall, with a smiling for free. Only you and your love understand.
Each Sunday morning on the bridge, the children gather there. The rich, the poor stand side by side, but no one really cares. There's toy balloons and rubber dolls, the stalls stand in a row. There's fruit and flowers and singing birds. Buy now before I go.
On the Halfpenny Bridge, you can stand in the sun, watching lovers stroll by, hand in hand. Buy a flower for your love from that old woman's stall, with a smiling for free. Only you and your love understand.
my love, and sing me a song. You've lain here beside me all the night long. Will you remember me? Will you return, or leave me to sorrow and to yearn? I am a poor boy and I have no gold. All I have owned has been bargained and sold. But I will give you the sun and the stars, and I will show you what you are.
Nancy, will you come? Will you follow after me? My coach is waiting, I will set you free. Will you leave your husband, his castle and estate, to follow the roving gypsy?
Once I was rich as a king with his crown, carriages and servants, a man of renown. Then I was robbed by a bold highwayman, and left without a penny in me hand. Now just like him, a robber I may be, who rambles round this country and sleeps among the trees. But I have a heart just as true as any lord, and more than many can afford.
No, I will not follow after you. Your story is all lies and your heart it isn't true. I'll not leave my husband, his castle or estate, to follow the roving gypsy.
Never ever see me again. And so before I go, my duty must be paid for all that I have done and left unsaid. I will take me payment from the riches that you wear, the rings upon your fingers and the jewels in your hair. And you can have your husband, his castle and estate. Perhaps, my love, we'll meet again by fate.
Nancy, don't you follow after me, for I am a rover, my heart is fancy free. And now I have your jewels to buy me food and wine, for I am the roving gypsy.
A few minutes ago, you heard Arcady with a set of tunes from an album called Many Happy Returns, followed by the Irish Rovers themselves with The Gypsy from their album Still Rovin'. We're going to continue with the Gypsy theme and play one of my favorite versions of the Raggle Taggle Gypsy. This is from a musician named Timmy Flaherty, and it's from an album called Dream of Erin. This is Timmy Flaherty with the Raggle Taggle Gypsy.
There were three old gypsies came to our hall door. They sang brave and boldly, oh, and the one sang high and the other sang low, and the other sang the Raggle Taggle Gypsy, oh. was upstairs, downstairs the lady went, put on her suit of leather, oh, and there was a cry from around the door, she's away with a raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. It was late that night when the Lord came in, inquiring for his lady, oh, and the servant girl, she says to the Lord, she's away with a raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. Then saddle for me my milk-white steed, the big horse is not speedy, oh, and I will ride till I seek my bride, she's away with a raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. He rode east, he rode west, he rode north and south or so, until he came to a wide open plain. He was there, he spied his lady, oh. How could you leave your goose by the bed, your black-haired strewn so comely, oh? How could you leave your newly wedded lord on for the raggle-taggle gypsy, oh? Well, what care I for your goose by the bed, with your black-haired strewn so comely, oh? Tonight I lie in a wide open field in the arms of a raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. House in your land. How could you leave your money, oh? How could you leave your only wedded lord on for the raggle-taggle gypsy, oh? Well, what care I for your house in your land? What care I for your money, oh? I'd rather have a kiss from the yellow gypsy's lips. I'm away with the raggle-taggle gypsy, oh.
What made you go abroad, fighting for strangers, when you could be safe at home, free from all dangers?
With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew you. Oh, my darling dear, you look so queer, and Johnny, I hardly knew you. Where are your eyes that were so mild, hurroo, hurroo? Where are your eyes that were so mild, hurroo, hurroo? Where are your eyes that were so mild, that looked upon the world and smiled? Why did you run from me and the child? Johnny, I hardly knew you. Where are your legs that used to run, hurroo, hurroo? Where are your legs that used to run, hurroo, hurroo? Where are your legs that used to run when first you ran to carry a gun? I fear your dancing days are done. Johnny, I hardly knew you. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, hurroo, hurroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, hurroo, hurroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg. You're an eyeless, boneless, chickenless egg. You'll have to be put in a bowl to beg. Johnny, I hardly knew you. They're rolling out the guns again, hurroo, hurroo. They're rolling out the guns again, hurroo, hurroo. They're rolling out the guns again, but they won't take our daughters and sons again. No, they won't take our daughters and sons again. Johnny, I'm swearing to you.
That was Atwater Donnelly with Johnny I Hardly Knew You from an album called Like the Willow Tree. Atwater Donnelly doesn't really do a lot of Irish music. They're American folk performers who do a lot of American and Appalachian type stuff. Aubrey Atwater has been a full-time folk musician for most of her adult life. Her husband, Elwood Donnelly, worked for the post office and joined her on the side as Atwater Donnelly. And as I said, that was Johnny I Hardly Knew You, one of my favorite versions of that song. Before that, we heard Across the Pond, new to the podcast, with the Swallowtail Jig and Kid on the Mountain. That's a jig followed by a slip jig, and that's from an album called Kid on the Mountain. Up next, we have the incredible Wolf Tones with their song Newgrange. This is from their 20th anniversary CD. Here's the Wolf Tones.
Hello friends, this is Derek Warfield of the Wolf Tones and the Young Wolf Tones. Savannah is a lovely city with great Irish heritage, and you can always listen to the best Irish music from Ireland and beyond on the Celtic Traditions with Michael Corbett.
Your mysteries lay hidden in stones that can't speak. Through time all your wondrous knowledge we seek. Be to my temple, we'd like to know why. On midwinter's morning you seek light from the sky. Your white quartz stones must have brightened the days when the sun shone down and reflected its rays. You refuse us a key Rosetta Stone. We just gaze on your circles, on your motives and moans. Sing away, Blue Lamonia, on the banks of the Wine. Fallen down for your glory, would not yield to time. Glory home to the men and the women laid to rest, who brought greatness to Ireland, the isle of the blessed. From your pillars of grandeur an answer is sought, when the tomb of the pharaohs were only a thought. Irish folk in their labour looked up from the Boyne to see standing a monument that would not yield to time. Then the chieftains, the Fianna, the monks stopped to call, all trample the hills unto Tara's royal halls, and they watched on the cradle of our art and design that inspired Irish artists much later in time. Sing away, Blue Lamonia, on the banks of the Boyne. For the dawn for your glory would not yield to time. Glory home to the men and the women laid to rest, who brought greatness to Ireland, the isle of the blessed. For your place in a county still royal with its arms, with a river of beauty with countless wild charms, you stand there majestic, a tower on the plain, and your passage of wonder a secret remains. So be proud of the wear and the history long gone that inspired generations of men later on. Your age is your greatness and the testament still, as you stand Brunabonia on a county mead hill. Sing away, Brunabonia, on the banks of the Boyne. Fallen down for your glory would not yield to time. Glory home to the men and the women laid to rest, who brought greatness to Ireland, the isle of the blessed.
Piper Stock Hill, take the time for to wander across the main bridge to the north side and yonder. And if you look long to the west, there's a chance that you'll see her move down to the bridge for the dance. And she still hears the music of anvil and saw, and she still looks to nature to lay out the law. She's a West Country lady from back in the past, and she faces the ocean where noisy waves blast on the rocks, and the wind blows a gale from all quarters, or summer sun sparkles on still waters down in the bay. She was there when they came on the very first ship, and she saw how the admirals ruled with a whip. And she's worked with her men and her young sons and daughters to harvest the fields and the woods and the waters. And often with sadness she'd look to the sea, with a longing for times that were never to be. She's a West Country lady from back in the past, and she faces the ocean where noisy waves blast on the rocks, and the wind blows a gale from all quarters, or summer sun sparkles on still waters down in the bay. When the sea was the way between island and nation, and old ways were new ways in this planter station, she's watched all the changes with pride and some sorrow. Some old ways remain as she hopes that tomorrow will kindly attend to the bountiful sea, and the land and her people will always be free. She's a West Country lady from back in the past, and she faces the ocean where noisy waves blast on the rocks, and the wind blows a gale from all quarters, the summer sun sparkles on still waters down in the bay. She's a West Country lady from back in the past, and she faces the ocean where noisy waves blast on the rocks, and the wind blows a gale from all quarters, the summer sun sparkles on still waters down in the bay.
That was Barleycorn with a song that I used to love to perform called West Country Lady. That's a song from Newfoundland, and that was from an album called Waltzing for Dreamers. Before that, we heard Catherine Tickle in the Darkness with Quilly Reel from Cloud Horizons. For the first several episodes of the Celtic Traditions podcast, we're playing different versions of the song As I Roved Out to show how certain songs evolved and changed over time and eventually became much different versions. This is from my band, Seldom Sober. This is my partner, Colleen Settle, and myself with As I Roved Out and a tune called The Musical Priest. This is from our album, 6 Months in Confession. After that, we're going to hear the O'Reillys with The Fiddler's Green from their live album, and then our interview with George Ghiorse. Stay tuned.
Who are you, my pretty fair maiden? Who are you, my honey? Who are you, my pretty fair maiden? Who are you, my honey? She answered me quite honestly, I am me mother's darling, with me tur-I for to diddle-dum, tur-I for to diddle-dairy-o. When you come to me mother's house and the moon is shining clearly, when you come to me mother's house and the moon is shining clearly, I'll open the door and I'll let you in. Devil the one will hear us with me tur-ay-ah, for-to-diddle-dum, tur-ay, for-to-diddle-dairy-o. So I went to her house on the top of the hill when the moon was shining clearly. Went to her house on the top of the hill when the moon was shining clearly. She opened the door and she let me in. Devil the one did hear us with me tur-ay-ah, for-to-diddle-dum, tur-ay, for-to-diddle-dairy-o. Took me horse by the bridle and bit, led him to the stable. Took me horse by the bridle and bit, led him to the stable. There's plenty of oats for a soldier's horse to eat it if he's able. With me tur-ay-ah, for-to-diddle-dum, tur-ay, for-to-diddle-dairy-o. And she took me by the lily white hand, she led me to the table. Took me by the lily white hand and she led me to the table. Plenty of wine for a soldier boy to drink it if he's able. With me tur-ay-ah, for-to-diddle-dum, tur-ay, for-to-diddle-dairy-o. And I got up and I made the bed, made it nice and easy. I got up and I made the bed, made it nice and easy. I got up and laid her down, saying, lassie, are you able? With me tur-ay-ah, for-to-diddle-dum, tur-ay, for-to-diddle-dairy-o. Till the break of day, devil the one did hear us. There we lay till the break of day, devil the one did hear us. I arose, put on my clothes, saying, lassie, I must leave you with me tur-ay-ah, for-to-diddle-dum, tur-ay, for-to-diddle-dairy-o. When will you return again? When will we get married? When will you return again? And when will we get married? When broken shells make Christmas bells, we might well get married. With me tur-ay-ah, for-to-diddle-dum, tur-ay, for-to-diddle-dairy-o.
Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmate, someday in a trip mate, I'll see you someday in Fiddler's Green.
As I walked by the dockside one evening so rare, who knew the still waters and take the salt air? I heard an old fisherman singing this song. Oh, take me away, boys, my time is not long.
Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks shall be seen. Just tell the old shipmates I'm taking a trip, mates. I'll see you someday in Fiddler's Green.
Now Fiddler's Green is a place I do tell, that sail and go and they don't go to hell, where the weather is fair and the dolphins do play, and the cold coast of Greenland is far, far away.
Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper, no more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell the old shipmates I'm taking a trip, mate. I'll see you someday in Fiddler's Green.
Well, the sky's always clear and there's seldom a gale, and the fish jump on board with a swish on their tail, where you lie at your leisure and there's no work to do, and the skippers below making tea for the crew.
Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper, no more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell the old shipmates I'm taking a trip, mate. I'll see you someday in Fiddler's Green.
Now when you are docked and the long trip is through, there's pubs and there's clubs and there's lassies there too, where the girls are all pretty and the beer is all free, and there's bottles of rum growing on every tree.
Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumpers, no more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell the old shipmates I'm taking a trip, mate. I'll see you someday in Fiddler's Green.
Now I don't want a harp or a halo, not me. Just give me a breeze and a good rolling sea, and I'll play the old squeeze box as we sail along, with the wind in the rigging to sing me this song.
Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumpers, no more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell the old shipmates I'm taking a trip, mate. I'll see you someday in Fiddler's Green. Just tell the old shipmates I'm taking a trip, mate. I'll see you someday in Fiddler's Green.
Okay, thank you for listening to the Celtic Traditions podcast. I'm here with George Ghiorse. He was the front man for the O'Reillys. They were a fabulous Irish band that played mainly in southeastern Massachusetts for decades. Most of them were educators. A lot of them worked in the school system that I grew up in. That's how I got to know them. George, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, Mike.
Okay, thank you. So just to start off, at most O'Reilly shows, you'd have 5 members, maybe 4, but there were actually 7 of you in the group, weren't there?
Yeah, the group has had a long and distinguished history. We're no longer together because, for various reasons, people have gone, mostly because of age, moved out of music. 3 of the originals have passed away. So at one time, yes, there were 7 O'Reillys per se. Yeah. And those 7 O'Reillys consisted of 5 original members, Bob McDonough, John Green, Paul Egan, Bill Martin, and myself. And then we added 2 additional players, one of them a bass player by the name of Wally Greeley, and another a multi-instrumentalist by the name of Tim Jumper. And interestingly, Tim Jumper was a mentor to all of us. We all took lessons from him at some point along the line in our musical development. But he was a terrific singer and instrumentalist, banjo primarily, but an excellent guitarist and mandolinist as well. So all of that put together at various times in the 34-year history of the band there were 7 members actively involved.
Nice. Yeah, I used to have one of Tim Jumper's. He had a banjo book that I bought once. It was pretty good.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, his Oak Publications banjo book is perhaps the best-selling 5-string banjo book published. And he still writes for the Banjo newsletter, as far as I know. He's just a terrific teacher and very knowledgeable about the history of the banjo. He once wrote an article for Yankee Magazine on the history of American banjo, which was accepted and published without any editorializing at all. Quite a writer as well.
Wow, okay. When exactly was it that you guys started playing together, and how did that come about?
The band's roots actually started or were first put in the ground, if you will, in the early 1970s. At that time, the entire band, quote band, we really weren't a band. We were just a bunch of guys learning instruments, primarily guitar, and spending time together in the teacher's room on Fridays after. And then we grew from that group of, very inexperienced musicians. We were all just learning at the time. We called ourselves Anchor Watch because we sang primarily sea songs. And there were also a couple of other individuals involved who go on to become O'Reillys. But the O'Reillys themselves actually began performing professionally around 1977.
Okay, great. That's wonderful.
That was quite a while ago.
It was, yeah. I was about 2 years old.
You were born.
Yeah, I was 2 years. I turned 2 years old in 77. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to listen to the O'Reillys' version of the great song "Sean South of Gary Owen." This will give you a chance to hear George singing. He sings at least the first couple of verses. So have a listen to this. Okay, so George, of all the Irish gigs I've been to over the last few decades, one of my absolute favorites was an O'Reilly's gig, and it was when we went down to Woods Hole and got on a boat, and four of you performed a concert while we
Right?
were sailing around
Yeah.
Cape Cod.
Yeah, that was actually the boat left from Falmouth Harbor.
Oh, was it? Okay,
It
I'm
was
off a
it was a
town or two.
ferry called, if I'm not mistaken, uh, a boat called the Island Queen.
Right. That was great. What were some of your favorite gigs
Yeah,
over the years?
yeah, but that was we did uh, a series of probably 15 years worth of cruises out of Falmouth Harbor on the Island Queen, two different organizations. One of them, the Irish Children's Program, which was a Cape Cod organization, and they hired us to do an Irish cruise, and then the Christ the King Parish in Mashpee Irish as well. So that's probably where you first saw it, or where that's probably where that cruise that you're thinking of it
Yeah.
is located from Falmouth Harbor. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that was a great
go
time. We're out there listening to Irish music while passing Nobska Lighthouse and things like that. It's just fabulous.
Yeah, those are fun days and cruises.
What were some of your other favorite gigs?
I would say of our extended gigs, the ones that we enjoyed most probably would be, I'm not ranking them in any order, but we were the house band very often in the summertime because we would be, as teachers, we had full-time jobs, but we had plenty of time in the summer, or at least flexible time. So we used to perform at Rafferty's Pub in Marshfield, owned by a guy named Mike Gibbons. We would perform at the Oceanside in Marshfield, the Bridgeway Inn, also in Marshfield, O'Toole's pub in Plymouth, and places like that. There are the Cornerstone Pub up in Broadway Station in South Boston, the Irish Embassy in Falmouth, Century Club in Falmouth, and just other places where we would be hired in to do mostly Friday, Saturday night work, and then maybe a Sunday afternoon happy hour. Sometimes we do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, that type of thing. But those are some of my favorite gigs because we get to know the people and we'd establish a clientele for the entire summer in those places.
That's great. Well, to brag on your behalf, you did open for the Clancy brothers once, didn't you?
Yes, I was at the Irish Embassy in Falmouth, and we did a Friday and Saturday night with them. We were the house band at the time at the Irish Embassy. The Clancy brothers, as they then existed, Tom and Pat. I can't think of the cousin. One of the Clancy cousins, Robbie O'Connell, was in just as a guest one night. So that was a fun time getting to know them, and of course they were a huge group, as you know. I know, Michael, that you're familiar with the Clancys and Robbie O'Connell, and are personal friends with him and I believe Liam Clancy. But that was a huge and very exciting moment for us because we began with the Clancy brothers in the early 70s,
right,
learning their music, learning their techniques, their stage presence, their vocal harmonies. We picked them clean because we respected them.
That's great. Now, in some ways, you reminded me of the Clancy brothers because when you guys sang an up-tempo song, it was like a wall of sound, like all of this testosterone-driven energy coming out, just like the Clancy brothers. But also, like the Clancy brothers, you guys could slow it down like nobody's business. And that doesn't just happen by accident, does it?
No, it doesn't. We worked very hard at setting up the sets, especially in a pub format, in a pub scenario. That was a very important part of our performance routine. Excuse me. The setting up of the program for the evening. The first set was pretty much standard, up tempo, up tempo, up tempo, then something medium, then punch in a ballad, then maybe an instrumental or two, and then sort of back out the same way. You'd go from slow, medium tempo, and then up to a couple of tempo numbers at the end of the set. Most sets running about 12 songs, sometimes 15 if the crowd get into it. But yeah, that didn't just happen. It wasn't luck. I mean, we had close to I'm going to say 500 songs in our repertoire by the time we finished. We would not have all of them under control. We'd go through phases where we would use more of certain songs than others. But overall, we probably had a solid 200 of those 500 working together. Easy to do with 5 voices, because all of us sang.
That's a good point. 5 voices can do a lot together.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break right now and listen to a song where the O'Reillys slow it down in a very beautiful way. This is my guitar teacher, the late Bob McDonough, singing his version of Nancy Spain.
Of all the stars that ever shone, not one does twinkle like your pale blue eye. Like golden corn at harvest time, your hair sailing in my boat, the wind gently blows and fills my sail. Your sweet scented breath is everywhere. No matter where I wander, I'm still haunted by your name. The portrait of your beauty stays the same. Standing by the ocean, wondering where you're gone, if you'll return again. Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain? Daylight peeping through the passing shadow of the nighttime is your smile. The sun in the sky is like your laugh. Come back to me, my Nancy, linger for just a little while. Since I left the shore, I've known no peace nor joy. No matter where I wander, I'm still haunted by your name. The portrait of your beauty stays the same. Standing by the ocean, wondering where you're gone, if you'll return again. Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain? On the day in spring, when snow starts to melt and springs to flow, with the birds I'll sing a song. In the wild I'll wander, down by Bluebell Grove where wildflowers grow, and hope that lovely Nancy will return. No matter where I wander, I'm still haunted by your name. The portrait of your beauty stays the same. Standing by the ocean, wondering where you're gone, if you'll return again. Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain? No matter where I wander, I'm still haunted by your name. The portrait of your beauty stays the same. Standing by the ocean, wondering where you're gone, if you'll return again. Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain? Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain?
Okay, George, now this question is for me. You are of Italian descent, but you fronted an Irish band. In my career, I've had some trouble with people working against me behind the scenes because they don't feel like I'm Irish enough to do Irish music as an Irish American. Was that ever an issue for you?
No, no, never. I'm married to a lovely Irish woman, now 57 years. Her family roots are Galway and Cork. She's 100% Irish. So I think a little bit of that rubbed off on me when we were first dating, even before I started my musical career. But I can say this. I throughout my career as an educator and as a student of things that fall into the category of the humanities, I was always attracted to Irish culture. I was always attracted to Irish writing, Irish music, Irish history. And to this day, I hold that very deep interest. I'm very well read in all of the great Irish writers. I've taught great Irish writers from James Joyce to John Millington Synge to, the entire spectrum of people who have embraced Irish culture in their writing in a way that's always affected me. So I guess I can say, even though I'm of Italian and English and Welsh descent, the Irish have always attracted me, and I think that's the reason why I gravitated to Irish music, because so much history, so much of Irish culture is imbued in the songs of Ireland. Humorous to sad, to tragic, to beautifully romantic, all there in Irish music. There's no doubt about it.
It is.
To this day. I mean, for example, you just mentioned Nancy Spain. We loved performing that song. And when we would stage it, I would join Bob in the second verse of that. And it's just a beautiful song. I love, all of the different versions of it that are accessible. Christy Moore's he's the one really who made the song famous, although he did not write it. But to the point where on my little YouTube channel, I presented a version of Nancy Spain that's really slowed down from the one that Bob McDonough sang. Because I always felt that we should have sung it maybe a little bit slower. Regardless, Bob did a beautiful job on it. Time he sang it, no doubt.
No, that was a fabulous version that he did. Of course, Bob was amazing anyway. But what was the O'Reilly's last ever professional gig? How did you close it out?
Well, Father's Day in June of 2011. Our last gig together was a performance at the South Shore Arts Festival on Cohasset Farm in Cohasset, Massachusetts. And we have a beautiful video of that, actually, by someone who was there. And I look back on not just that performance, but all of the performances that we had together. It was a brotherhood. At one time, we used to call ourselves the O'Reilly Brothers, almost in a nod to the brothers whom we learned so much from. But after we became known as the O'Reillys, we still thought of ourselves as a brotherhood of music. There were no egos in the group. Everyone was together because we loved the music. We loved one another's company. We loved enjoying a beer together after a performance, or even during some of the performances. For the most part, our wives and families, especially in the early years, were very close. I had the privilege of sadly singing at all three of the funerals of McDonough, Paul Egan, John Green. Very hard to let go of that, but it was a great honor and privilege to have been able. Going back to your original question, that last performance in June of 2011 was the end of an era, really. We got together probably from time to time, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. We'd have lunch together, play some music together. But then gradually, life's journey began to take its inevitable route. And I look back now, I'm 80 years old, and Bill Martin is still alive. He's 84. Tim Jumper is my age. He is also 80. Neither of them are, well, Tim is still doing some music, I know, and Billy has backed off completely. Yeah. But it was a great trip, a huge part of my life for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe the average lifespan of a band is 7 years, and 34 is a lot higher than 7. So that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So we're going to close things out
Yeah,
here.
I'm just saying we were graced and blessed with whatever talent we had, with whatever friendship we could embrace. Yeah, and it was with us a long time. We never had a falling out. Maybe a couple of arguments at the end of gigs. Very small arguments on the choice of songs. Who was making the decisions, about what was going to be put up on stage and that type of thing. But those are minor, and those will happen in any organization.
Of course.
But we never had a major falling out. Not one in 34.
Well, that's fabulous. Well, we're going to close out the show now.
That's the tribute to the band.
It really is. It really is. Well, we're going to close out the show now. We're going to listen to an instrumental piece from the O'Reillys. They were very good with the instrumentals. This is a set of hornpipes. It's the Boys of Blue Hill and the Liverpool hornpipe. The O'Reillys version of the Liverpool hornpipe is the best I've ever heard. There's not much you can do to support the O'Reillys these days, but you can enjoy them on YouTube. So George has his own YouTube channel where he's been posting videos the last couple of years. His last name is spelled Ghiorse, George Ghiorse. You can find him there. And I recently posted some videos of O'Reilly's concerts to YouTube. You can Google or look on YouTube for the O'Reillys in Hanover. It's spelled like hangover without the G. And the O'Reillys in Weymouth. That's Weymouth. The Hanover video is much better video and audio quality, but they're both excellent. So, George, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Mike, truly my pleasure. And I thank you very much for reaching out. It was great having coffee with you and your wife this past summer, and let's stay connected. We really like that. In fact, I'm going to send you a YouTube version of the instrumental that you're about to play.
That would be great.
I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't.
It's on my channel.
Fabulous. I hope you enjoyed my interview with George Ghiorse. Here's the O'Reillys with the Boys of Blue Hill and the Liverpool hornpipe.
right, guys. Way to go.
Thank you for joining us on the Celtic Traditions podcast with Michael Corbett. Join us again for more music from Ireland and beyond.